right, so welcome to round 2 of the technical steering for GEP-0039 live control plane migration. I think I would propose that we look at the decisions that we noted down in the first round and just check and discuss what has been adapted now and see if there's anything open or anything that requires feedback or more questions. Or any other proposals how we should proceed? You think that's fine? Okay.
Sounds good.
So we agreed to revamp the doc, address the questions that will follow here below, and then we have this follow-up session, which is today. All right. So first, the topic area was failure handling and recovery. First question was, what additional failure modes exist beyond those documented? So one failure mode was that the scale-up failed, and then the whole live migration operation, of course, failed entirely. Can you maybe take over what was changed there now? Or was this just a question that we wanted to answer for completeness, but nothing that we need to document?
At that time, it was just a question, and we replied with the answer like, as of now, whatever we see there, these are the only failure scenario we see, and the proper handling, how those things will be handled, is also there in the GEP.
This should not be exclusive to live CPM itself.
No, probably not. Okay. Okay, then I guess we continue with the next one. Can we always fall back to normal control plane migration, or are there cases requiring manual intervention?
Yeah, for now, I think only if the first HCD joining itself fails, then only we support going back to normal CPM, because otherwise there'll be too many things created here and there and be hard. So only if it fails in the first stage, we can go back. Otherwise, we'll need some manual intervention. So that is also documented in the failure scenarios. Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is we trigger some live migration, and if we see, let's say, the HCD scale-up fails, we abort it and decide that now we try just the normal CPM.
Yeah, only at the very first step.
Okay, but if this fails later, then we cannot fall back, correct? So let's say the scale-up has worked and something else fails after that. We have to somehow fix it and make it complete manually or something.
Yeah, so if something goes wrong with the HCD, then the manual intervention would be required. And we mentioned also if any other error related to this migration reconciliation will be more or less retriable and should recover on its own. Except the HCD one, where if the quorum loss happens after the joining has done, then we need manual intervention.
So what is written in the assumption? That's what, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Garden that restart behavior, current proposal resumes from the failed step. This differs from usual reconciliation semantics. Question, could this lead to irrecoverable or inconsistent states?
We'll follow usual reconciliation semantics only. We'll reset from the beginnings, and the flow will be written in such a way that it will be able to handle from any stage.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Then that's all regarding failure handling and recovery. Anything else that popped into your minds now that we talk about it? If not, then next topic, HCD related topics. First item, 6-member HCD risk. 3 members per seat implies permanent quorum loss. So here we changed to 5 members as discussed last time, right?
Yes, yeah. Only during the end, before removal, we'll move to 6 for a short period of time.
Okay, so how is the process? We spawn 2 new HCDs in the destination seat.
Yeah,
Do we have
and
the 5? Okay.
yeah,
go
let
ahead.
them start and then start QBP server and then add one more member and then remove the whole source HCD.
Okay, so after the 6-member joined, we then directly
Yeah.
terminate the 3 old and only then continue with the rest.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, that's
I
fine,
think
right?
this is the best we can get, right? We can't avoid, the risk of the same amount of members on both sides. It has to be there temporarily, at least.
Yeah.
So, I guess in the current state of the proposal, this looks way better than the permanent 6-member cluster.
Okay, cool. Then there was something about the APIs. We talked about the things that are currently being developed in the context of GEP-28, the self-hosted shoots. So there's this new field for externally managed members. And I think in the proposal was another one for member name prefixes. And the question was if we can harmonize this effort so that both use cases would work with similar APIs.
I think the decision was Sesha.
So decision was both are different scenarios. The source of truth of the name, the HCD member name is different. So we agreed upon to have both different solutions. I mean, it's totally two different solutions. I mean, so it's we can't harmonize.
Okay, so it's not possible and would be too
Yeah,
complicated.
Yeah.
So we stay with the separate fields.
Yes.
Okay. Any concerns or comments about that? Then let's do it like this. Okay, but similar thing for the member removal. So here for GEP-28, the plan is that the Druid removes the members directly from the etcd cluster by calling some new HTTP backend in the backup restore sidecar. Question was, can live CPN reuse this approach?
Yes, we will reuse the work, whatever the GEP-28 says. I mean, self-hosted approach for member removal. Both we will try to reuse the same work.
Okay, so we don't implement this LCD ops task for removing member. Okay. Yeah, Tim?
So etcd Druid will call this HTTP endpoint before actually deleting the pod, right? Because
we can
I just realized once we delete the etcd resource on the source seed, there will be no more HTTP endpoint to call, right? On the backup restore side.
we are going to trigger. So basically, yes, we are going to trigger this call on the destination only. A destination Druid will take care of this orchestration to remove the members. So yes, as you mentioned, we will scale down one by one the member the HTTP replica size, and we will remove it.
So we will first remove one member on the source side, and then the Druid on the destination side will remove the member information from the etcd cluster. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and how does the destination Druid get to know of the state that one member has been removed on the source?
It's basically a single cluster. So we will get to know the cluster member details. So basically in a cluster, 6 members will be there. So we know the source member details from the bootstrap with the existing field. So whenever one member is removed from that field, we will try to remove it from the cluster.
This is this new list of peers. Okay, got it. Okay. But wait, who removes the member from this peers list in the destination seed?
Druid backup restore leader. The HCD's leader backup restore will have an endpoint remove. Whoever is leader, the request will be forwarded to the leader, and that leader backup restore high card will remove it. In a destination side.
And how does this component know that on the source side a member is removed? I don't get how this whole coordination thing works of the removal.
So basically, in a destination HCDC, we will have an bootstrap with existing members. Basically, that will have an information of the source. And the same way, the status also will report to which members it has bootstrapped with. Okay. So on destination side, the gardenlet will try to remove the member from the spec bootstrap with existing member one by one. So whenever the corresponding member is removed, I mean one by one, all the 3 members. So basically, the Druid will trigger a call one by one. It will invoke the call to the backup restore, and it will give return back a response 200 OK or something. By that way, we will get to know whether that member is removed or not.
Okay, and afterwards the pods on the source seed will just be deleted, and they are no longer active, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay. And when we remove member information from the etcd cluster, there's no auto rejoin or something like this, is there?
It is not possible to rejoin the cluster because HCD cluster remembers the member ID, and it will says that if it tries to rejoin also, it will tell it will return an error saying that this member already removed from the cluster.
Okay, good. Now I understand. Sounds good. Thanks.
Just to understand, so which side is removing? It's only the source side, etcd Druid, because etcd Druid is running on both sides, right?
Yes, the orchestration will be done by destination.
By the destination, and it's and it is always talking to the leader, regardless whether the leader is in the source or in the destination, right?
Yes.
Because we have exposed the etcds that should work even if the leader is in the source side, right?
Yes, that is possible. Yeah, the request will be sent to the leading backup resource sidecar. So internally it will be routed to the request will be routed.
And it is okay to also remove leader.
Sorry, can come again?
Is it also okay to remove the leader? So can it remove itself?
It won't remove the leader. So basically, the leader will check.
I mean, if the leader is on the source side, it needs to eventually be removed, right?
Yeah, that is true.
But there is some kind of forfeit leadership command in etcd, right? You would just need to call it up front before removing, I assume.
So that is that is true. Yeah, leadership change will be happening in that case.
Okay, fine. Thanks.
Okay, but trigger-wise, the spec in the etcd spec in the destination seed changes, so some member will be removed, and this triggers the removal. of the clusters.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Because as part
So
of this
garden that will
item,
basic. Sorry.
yeah, sorry, I'm just saying that as part of this item, it's not fully specified in the issue also how this works for the other scenario, but I thought here the Druid will watch the node somehow, and when a node disappears, then it automatically removes it. But of course, then the etcd spec is invalid. So yeah, it makes sense to somehow orchestrate it over the spec. If it's removed there, only then the member is removed, and then the spec is always kind of correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Tim?
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Okay, so this item is fine then? The removal part? Anything left? Okay. etcd exposure proposal doc is outdated. Needs to be updated to reflect Istio-based exposure. This was done, right? Open questions. How are DNS records constructed in this model?
Yes, we have updated the doc.
And for the DNS records, what was this? What was this question?
We will use 3 DNS resources will be created, one per etcd member, pointing to the seed, Istio, ingress gateway, load balancer. So that was the, yeah. So the traffic
Okay.
is
I think
way
the
out of
question is also what the domain looks like. Is it a subdomain of the shoots domain, or is it a subdomain of the seed?
Like Pluton.
Yeah, so most probably we did not write this line, but if you see the image, it's like it gives a general idea where most probably will try to use how the Plutono one looks like and just add the member name prefix ahead of it. So member name and then same ID, and then more or less we'll also add the seed name in start of it. So member name, seed name. So just to have an idea which
It's the ingress domain of the seed that is then used, not the shoot domain.
Seed only should be used, right?
Yeah, but this more or less could be like the implementation detail, right? At that point of time, how we are constructing the and can be reviewed at that time, like how the DNS records are named.
But if you do CPM for 2 shoots on the same seat at the same time, will that cause a problem?
No, it will have the namespace, right? Anyway, the DNS record, not the DNS record itself. Will in the host name we'll use that pod dot namespace dot, yeah. So it should not clash.
Yeah. Okay. I think this can then. Or do we have any specific concerns, Tim? Probably can be discussed later. Maybe it doesn't matter too much which domain is used because it's anyways just short term, just for the migration.
Yeah, probably. I would like to see a statement in the proposal that outlines how the DNS record looks like, and then I will give it some more thought.
Okay. Okay, then network and connectivity part is question: is seed-to-seed connectivity guaranteed at all times?
Yeah, we have updated the doc to mention this as a prerequisite. So for now, we expect the operator to do the sanity checks and make sure the seed-to-seed connectivity is there.
So before you trigger the migration, because we
Yeah.
don't have automatic checks, the operator, it's in the responsibility of the operator that.
Yeah, we also have added a future scope to make it somehow configurable, like which seed has connectivity to which seed via some label selector also. So, but for now.
Yeah. And normal CPM also has this problem, if you want to call it a problem. So Okay, can be addressed separately if needed. Okay. VPN
Does it
setup.
have this problem, the normal CPN? It doesn't need seat-to-seat communication, does it?
Okay,
Only
right.
the
Not
bucket.
directly seat to seat.
On the bucket
It
also.
needs, it needs seat to bucket.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I think it's good enough to let the operator do the sanity checks for now and, if necessary, introduce some configuration later on. So this is a good first step, in my opinion.
Mhm. Okay, then for the VPN setup, why is an additional VPN seat server configuration needed on the destination seat?
Yeah, it's not needed. Like we have updated the doc. So there will only be one temporary VPN shoot, but the seat will be like VPN seat server will be the same in destination as well. There is no temporary VPN seat.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sounds good. Then this was the question. Okay, good. All right, scheduling and latency constraints. So scheduler config map distances are weights, not necessarily latency. So the unit is not defined from the Gartner project. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
we have
you updated
added.
doc.
Yeah, we have updated the doc. So if it's the same region, then we are not enforcing this config map requirement. And otherwise, there should be some config map present. And if we have also written in the doc that this 180 milliseconds mentioned in the doc is for like latency. If some other metric is used in the config map, then they should configure that accordingly.
Okay.
In the threshold value. So the threshold was already configurable. So if it's not latency, then some other metric, then the operator of the landscape should configure it accordingly.
Okay, and this was basically the second question, how, if you don't use latency as a unit, how the distant region prevention is then enforced. But if you don't use latency, you can override the 180, which is the default. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last thing, the proposal should explain how the latency threshold was derived.
We have added 2 points in the proposal for this. You have not seen. So it just mentions like it was derived from like extensive testing on our side in AWS, GCP, and Azure. And after 200 milliseconds, there was some issues observed with the QBP server, and so we have mentioned this in the proposal.
Yeah. Okay. Then nobody objects. We continue. Control plane components and coordination. Release management. Can controllers simply be recreated in the destination seat instead of running them in both seats? Would this simplify the implementation?
Yeah, we have decided to go this route as well. So we have updated the proposal with this.
Okay, so now this means
there is no back and forth. It's like we'll remove everything from the source and then recreate everything on the destination.
Okay. And with this, we also don't have these leadership concerns that were discussed last time. Okay. Cool. Then Gardenlet coordination. Current design uses back and forth updates via status live migration in the shoot. Question, would conditions be clearer and a more robust coordination mechanism?
Yeah, the shoot will now use the standard shoot conditions, so which will always be present. I think currently we have 8 steps, so these 8 conditions will be present all the time with clear message and everything. So each gardenlet will own their its own condition, so there is no conflict also.
Yeah. Gardenlet versions. How is it enforced that gardenlets in both seats run the same version? What happens if a gardenlet upgrade occurs while a migration is already in progress?
Yeah, so Garden can anyway read the other seed. So for now, before starting the migration flow, we can check the other seed, and if it's not the same version, then wait. So anyway, if one Gardelet gets upgraded during the migration, then definitely it will wait. So the condition will not be true, so the other will not continue. We cannot stop the process in the middle, but yeah.
Okay, so the Gardenlet itself can check before it starts the flow if
Yeah,
these
it can read
prerequisites
this.
are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and even the API server could also check it and reject the live migration request if the seed Gardenlets are of a different version, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then we don't even enter in this stuck
Yeah,
state.
yeah. We have it in the seed status, so
Okay, so this we can do, and if then still some upgrade happens while this all is going on,
one of the gardens will
then
anyway restart, the one which gets upgraded. So it can again check in the start of the flow.
yeah, exactly. Okay.
Do we require the exact same version, meaning also the same patch version, or could we, in theory, tolerate different patch versions?
At least we don't expect the flow to change like in a breaking way in every release. So
For now, most
I mean,
probably
that
we'll
should
go
be
with the patch version itself. Like it should patch the exact version at least for now, and then maybe in future we can.
because patch, at least if some issue is there and we are trying to fix it, so better to expect the patch also.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
probably.
just to understand, that means that if I want to do control plane live migration and initially in the flow everything is fine, that is both Gardenlets have the same version, I start with a migration, and during that time frame basically one side is updated, then this side will not continue because then it's a new version, and I can only get out of that by then also updating the other side, right? And then it should continue without problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, last section, auto-scaling and resource management. This was about also transferring the VPA checkpoints as part of the migration to prevent starting the containers in the new seed with default requests, which might be too low. Too high would not be a problem, but too low could be not so good.
Yeah, I think for now it was decided to tackle this as a separate issue because this concerns normal migration as well. So I think there is an issue open in Gardener already for this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yep. And also, as you mentioned in the issue, it's less of a concern now with in-place updates, and it would only or mostly cause issues for very, very large GBP server and etcds, which would not be able to fit most nodes.
All right. Then that were our notes from the last time. Anything new that came to your mind while reading the updates or while discussing now?
Yeah, I still have this open question. Why the DNS records are migrated before the destination seed has the majority of the etcd members. So in the current flow, the Cube API server is deployed on the destination side and so on and so forth. We still only have 2 members there. Then we migrate the DNS record on the source side, restore it on the destination side. And after that, we increase to 3 replicas on the destination cluster. Is that a problem? Should we maybe do the leadership transition or the majority transition first before migrating the DNS record?
There is no majority transition as such, right? The maximum is 6. The source never goes to 5. Also, you're saying after removing one member from the source and then migrating DNS record.
Yeah, that's what I envisioned originally, yes.
Okay.
So first we'll have to wait for
I'm not.
November.
You can do it, but well, like make it 6-member. Remove one from the source by making the call, whatever removal call, and then migrating DNS record. So at this point, even if network connectivity is gone and we are on the safe side.
Yeah.
But Sesha, is it like Gardenet removes all the bootstrap field together and then etcd Druid does it one by one based on the status, or Gardenet has to orchestrate it one by one?
So internal logic wise, implementation wise, we can do one by one, even though if you remove all the members from the etcd spec. But until that, we need a metric.
Okay, I mean, whatever, if we have to implement what Tim does, then Gardenet has to do at least the first one separately, and then the rest of the three. Okay.
Yeah, so this would further decrease the time where we have 6 members, right? So we basically join 3 members immediately on the destination side, and once they are all ready, we directly remove one member in the list of Bootstrap peers, and then we are immediately down to 5 members again, 3 of which are on the destination side. And then we can directly start migrating the DNS record.
Yeah. Can give it a thought. I think it can be done.
Maybe we can then also combine the 2 phases in the middle. Maybe I can share my screen to make it easier to point.
Sure.
I just need the permissions.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, then we try. So I'm looking at this section of the flow, right after preparing for join and joining. I'm wondering whether we could combine these 2 phases, like migrating extensions before API server and migrating the DNS record. That could potentially be one step, and then the restoration on the destination side could also be one step, without digging deeper into it. What do you think?
Doesn't the extensions need before KPI needs to be started before KBP server? There is a reason why they are early in the reconcile flow, right? So we are starting this KBP server in the step after, like if you see the destination KPI ready step. So if you move it after, is it fine?
No, I'm not saying we should move these extensions after the API server, but I'm just saying instead of only migrating the extensions here, we could immediately also migrate the DNS record in one step and then do these all in sequence. Then the extension will still be deployed before the API server, but we are combining these phases, right?
Okay,
Do
so
you
you're
know
saying like
what
remove
I
only
say?
one member before and then move it together.
Yes. So
Wouldn't
join
it
the
be
3
better to
members
have
here, remove one from the source side, then do migrate extensions before API server and migrate DNS record, and then restore extensions, deploy API server, and so on and so forth. That would be even simpler. Then we would only have 3 phases with ping pong from source to destination. That would be even easier to follow, in my opinion.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be better we ensure the KPI is coming properly on the destination first and then only migrate the DNS records?
Migrate the migrate operation on the DNS record doesn't delete it, right?
No.
Just shallow deletes it.
Yeah.
So we don't assume that the API server's DNS record values will change, right? So we don't need it anymore here. We can just orphan delete it and it won't break any communication.
Yeah, that's true. But still, I don't know. I feel like only after ensuring the KPI on the destination side, we should go ahead with even with this. We are going for sure with the shallow delete, but it feels better to have like once we are ensuring that KPI is there on the destination, then only go ahead with the DNS stuff. So if anything goes wrong, it's easier to get back to the original state or fix the things.
Maybe. I don't know.
We can for sure like try the two implementation, I guess, and then think of it which maybe during the testing, if something gives better advantage over a different one, and then maybe we can choose that approach. What do you think about that?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. For now, it's just based on feelings. There are no hard arguments, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay, so the one thing that we wanted.
Probably the last major thing from my side with the complexity of the flow, and this should all be addressed now.
So this means you wanted this DNS record to be documented also in the GEP. So this you should write down as an action item to this explicitly mentioned. And all the other things are fine, right? That's the only thing that is now to be done before we finally.
What did we decide with the what did we decide with the HCD thing? Like, are we removing one member and then migrating, or
DNS thing? Well, after the thing, implementation, right? We'll check the implementation accordingly.
No, the earlier step, like migrating the DNS record. While
So
after this.
So you
Yeah,
mean
if
the last
there are
topic
no
that we just discussed
concerns.
with. This was the last topic that we just discussed with Tim, right?
okay? I thought it was only about combining the steps and shit.
Yeah, both. So one point was to directly join 3 members on the destination seed and remove one source member right after they get ready. And the other point was to combine the steps in the middle, like the blue boxes.
Sounds good.
Okay. Then I guess next step is to address these few minor things in the document, and then we can approve the PR, get it merged. Don't think we need another session here in this round. It's just about smaller refinements, but the overall approach is then fine for everybody, right?
Yes. Looks great now, in my opinion.
Awesome. Okay, then any final words before we close the session?
Looking forward to the feature. This will be a big step for the Gardner project. Really looking forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, then I will write down these things on the page again. You address the stuff in the doc, and then we get the PR merged and can start with the implementation. Cool. Perfect. Thanks everybody for joining. And yeah, have a good
Thanks,
time.
everyone.
See you next time.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
thanks
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Thanks for your efforts. Bye.